we'll go ahead and drop into today's practice. Sitting back in your chair, just allow yourself to turn your attention into that inner landscape of the body and the mind. Allowing the breath to soften and lengthen as you tune into whatever it is you need today. Whatever it is that's asking for your attention. Simply scanning the body and noticing the sensations. If you have any intentions that you'd like to call in to the heart space, now's the time to do it. And let it exhale out into the world. My intention for this practice today is to find the dynamic movement where the breath and the body become one, this union. And so we'll be focusing specifically on that coordination of the breath and the body. Let's just open the practice today with some small thoracic spine movements of the breath. And we will inhale as we reach the sternum forward and exhale as we create a C with the spine. This is like a seated cat-cow. And you can open your eyes if you want to watch me, or you can, if you already know the movement, just find your rhythm here in the movement as you inhale forward and exhale back. It's kind of a rocking sensation. Head is firmly positioned on top of the spine, so there's no floppy head movement happening here. It's just the spine and the pelvis that's moving. Let it be as quick or as slow as you wish, creating warmth in the spine. And feeling free to add different elements to it. Notice the way I'm rolling the shoulders forward and back as I create this movement, this contraction and expansion of the spine. We're creating warmth. Two more full cycles here, letting the breath and movement combine. And then inhaling back to center. We're just gonna check in with our feet here. Check in that the belly button is squeezing back towards the spine, that our feet are firmly rooted. And we're just going to fold over the body ever so slightly. If you notice that the body starts to want to round over the knees, then you've gone beyond that limit. This is a very subtle lengthening of this lumbar region where we just imagine that the body is swaddled to a board as we move the spine and head in one full movement So nothing is moving separately. And then inhale up. And exhale as you come just slightly over. And inhale up. This can be an inch that we're folding over the body. The folding over the thighs, I should say. So it's kind of this movement where you exhale and fold over, and you should feel that opening up this little area here in the small of the spine. And then coming back to center, we're going to palms up. Inhale, sitting nice and tall. Inhaling the hands up. And exhaling, pushing the palms down towards the ground. Coordinating the breath with the movement. Inhaling, palms up. And exhaling, pushing the earth away. Inhale up, palms up, and palms down, push the earth down away from the body. One more time, up. And this time, instead of coming down, bring those elbows into a kind of W. You have your hands open, palms facing forward. And inhale, you may not completely be able to lengthen those elbows. That's okay if you're about right here, just reach for it. And exhale, bring those elbows into a W. Sitting up nice and tall, this is also a core practice. And then dropping the left hand down by the side, reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Being sure that the sits bones aren't lifting off the chair. Really find that lengthening where you're pushing the sits bones into the chair, reaching one hand up towards the ceiling, one hand down towards the ground. And coming back up to center, we'll go ahead and inhale those hands back up here. And elbows squeezing in towards the rib cage. So when we do this, we're contracting that rib cage. Inhale up, respecting your own limits, and exhale down, squeezing those elbows in. You should feel that contraction in the rib cage. And then finally reaching that left arm up and letting the right arm fall down by your side. Really feeling that lengthening through the side body. Sits bones are firmly placed on the chair. Gaze up at that hand. And come back up to center. Let's shake out the arms there. You may need to scoot a little bit forward on your chair here. We're going to place the hands here behind the ears, okay? Not behind the head like this. Just barely touching the backs of the ears, okay? And we're going to exhale, close those elbows. Inhale, open those elbows. Exhale, close the elbows. Inhale, open. And then allow the body from the torso to simply rotate just a little. Very soft. Let it be slow, no jerky movements. Just allow that body to twist ever so slightly. We're really working into that trapezoid right behind the shoulder blade. And this is also a core exercise, sitting up nice and tall and squeezing that belly button back towards the spine. And come back to center. Let's flick those fingers out. And bring them into the shoulders and flick it out. And bring it into the shoulders. Last time, flick it out. And then place those palms back on your thighs and let's do some shoulder rolls here. So we're using those palms to really push our shoulders up by our ears as we roll them down. So we're pushing them up, 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 and back and down and around. Really feeling the way that we're working into those shoulders. And then feel free to reverse this and see how that feels. And come back to center. Shake anything that needs shook. And we're going to continue warming up this part of the body, the top and the neck here. So taking the hand and very, very lightly, right hand, place the fingers just on the top of the ear, okay? And you're not pulling the neck, you're just allowing the weight of the hand to rest on the neck as you let that ear reach for the shoulder. So you're reaching that ear for the shoulder there. And sitting up nice and tall and feeling that lengthening through the side of the neck. Take a nice long breath here. And then drop that hand down, bring the head back to center. Take a nice big breath there, and we'll take the left hand now and rest it here. Fingers just barely touching the ear. Take a nice inhale so that you're nice and tall here, and then as you exhale, just let that ear fall over towards the shoulder. Let each exhale be a release there. And dropping the hand down by your side, inhale the head back up to center. We'll just make sure that we're good and warmed up in our neck here. So let's inhale forward and exhale over to the side, reaching that chin over to the neck, to the shoulder, sorry. And inhale back to center. And exhale over. Inhale to center. And exhale over. And last time, inhaling forward. And exhaling over. And there we are, back to center, inhaling. Okay, we are going to do today a lot of work with balance. So before we do that, I want to warm up these hips and our legs here just while we're sitting. So just walk those hips, lifting one leg, one hip off the chair. And then we're going to make this more dynamic. So we're going to lift the knee and take it over, and lift the knee and bring it back, and lift the knee and take it over, and lift the knee and bring it back. One more time on either side, lifting off to the side, and then lifting back. Okay, and then we're going to extend both legs out in front and bring the arms up. Inhale and then bring it down. And extend those legs out, raising the arms up, shoulders are down, active cores, and then bring them down. And raise them up. And raise them down one more time. And raise them up. And raise them down. Okay, run those legs. Okay, let's come to standing. So in order to do that, we place our heels right under our knees. We're going to exhale all the air out of our lungs. And when we're ready to stand, inhale and push the ground away from our heels. Very nice. Okay. So because we're going to do a couple of different balance things today, I want us to start facing the chair, okay? Make sure everyone can see my feet. So you might not see my face in this part. I just really want you to see my feet, okay? So here we are, and we're standing with the chair right in front of us, the back of the chair. And just go ahead and roll up onto the ball of the foot here and give yourself a nice little massage behind the backs of the knuckles of the toes. So you're rolling little circles around the ball of the foot. And you're also, by default, drawing circles with the ankle. So you're kind of warming up that whole region, the toe, the toes, the instep arch, and the ankle, and even the knee. And anywhere that there's a little bit of tension, feel free to just kind of rest there and roll through it slowly. And play with this, make it your own practice, reverse the circle and see, notice how that feels different. Notice how it may make a different sound. My toes are just constantly cracking. So you should notice, I mean, the crack is a release of a buildup of energy or tension in the joints. So you want to go ahead and roll through that. Let it kind of work its way out. And then bringing that leg back to center. Again, coming to this mountain pose. Firm bodies, strong legs. We'll shift our weight onto the other standing leg and roll through the other toes. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a weight-bearing exercise here on the toes, but the more that you allow a little bit of weight to go on to those, the pads of the feet, the more you'll find that massage just really inviting. And then reverse those circles. And then coming back to center, let's flex those knees just a little bit in order to come back to mountain pose. As you push the ground away from the body, active legs, palms are facing forward. You can also bring the hands to prayer pose if that feels good to you. And we're just going to start with little balances. So we can have our hands on the chair if you want, or we can keep one hand on the chair and one in our prayer pose. But all we're going to do is just like if you were going to take a step, but you're going to do it very slowly and intentionally, where you lift one foot off the ground and shift the weight from one foot to the other. That's all we're doing. We're just working on shifting the weight at this moment. And then if you feel like you want to challenge yourself, see if you can lift that foot just an inch off the ground to the side. So as you step, you lift it just a little and step, and you can use the chair to help you, or you can try to do it here with your hands in prayer. We're building strength here. Your butt's probably going to start to burn. All right, come back to center, and let's just work those hips out. Putting both feet on the ground, let there be a few circles here in the hips, pushing into each hip socket as you make that circle. We're strengthening and then lengthening. And then change the direction. And then coming back to center, rolling those shoulders up and down onto the spine, really making sure that belly is active, the belly button squeezing back towards the spine. Now we're going to do it by lifting the leg to the back, okay? So you can have your hands in prayer, feel the feet on the ground. We're gonna shift the weight onto the standing leg. In my case, it's the left leg, and I'm just gonna lift my back foot. Notice I'm not coming off the ground more than about an inch. You can hold on to the chair if that feels good. One more time on either side, really building some muscle here. And then coming back to center. Let's bounce just a little. Okay, coming back to center again, rolling those shoulders back onto your shoulder blades, tightening the core here. Now we are going to turn to the side, okay? And we'll do our tree pose. See, the tree pose should be much easier now because we've already prepared our feet and our bodies for this different kind of balance work, okay? So coming to the side, chairs at the side here, you already know that feeling of shifting the weight. So shift the weight onto the standing leg and bring that foot in. And you can either rest it on the calf, or you can rest it here at the base of the foot on the ground too. Whatever feels good to you. And you can bring the hands in. And as you do this, make sure that you're not jutting that hip out. Push that hip up so that you're pulling up through the side body here. You are all beautiful trees. And exhale, release that foot down. Go ahead and shake out the standing leg. Okay. We're going to take it one step further, okay? Coming back to center, feeling that, those hips, that grounding feeling in the feet. Instead of doing the tree, we're going to shift our weight onto this leg, and we're going to attempt to make a starfish. That's it. And then when we can't hold it anymore, we're just going to come down, okay? So notice I'm not hanging on the chair, okay? You're going to use your ballerina fingers, 2 fingers on the chair to support you, okay? And then shift onto that weight, the standing leg, lift that leg just enough to form a star. You are doing so wonderful. And whenever you just can't hold it anymore, go ahead and come down. And shake out that standing leg again. Your balance is getting so good, you guys. I'm watching you, and Pete, you're not even trembling. You're doing wonderful. Okay, so I changed the direction of my chair now. We're gonna, again, start with tree and go into star, okay? So feeling the feet about hip widths apart. Notice that triangle on the bottom of the foot, grounding those toes in the heel. Let's shift the weight onto the standing leg and bring in our tree, resting it there on the calf and checking in to make sure we're not sitting in the hip. There are two things in the body that really, really affect our balance. And one is, you'll notice that each time you do lose balance, it's because your toes are lifting off the ground. And the other rule of thumb is that wherever the head goes, the body follows. So if you're looking down at your feet, then you're very likely to lose that balance. So find a place, real or imaginary, on the wall in front of you and just really focus on that. Very nice. Go ahead and come out of that and slide the leg down. Shake out that standing leg. And then whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and come into our star pose. So 2 fingers on the chair, shifting that weight onto the standing leg. We're going to lift the leg and the arm to create that star. And then you can test yourself. You can take that hand off the chair for 5 seconds, or if you just have to hold on to it, make sure there are no white knuckles on those hands. And then come down whenever you're ready. We're gonna do that one more time. We did it twice on the other side, right? I think so. We did it? Yes, we did. We did it twice, didn't we? Okay, whatever. We're gonna do it one more time anyway, okay? So go ahead and lift that leg. And come down whenever you're ready. And shake out those legs now. Good, we did a lot of balance work today. How's everyone feeling? Good? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stretch out the back of the legs. So here's standing, face the chair, hips facing the chair, and then we're just walking the legs back. So you're stretching this there's like an oppositional pull from your fingertips to your hips. And the head is not droopy like this. It's like there's an arrow through the crown of your head, all the way through the center of your body and out the coccyx. So if you can't quite get your head between your elbows, that's okay if you're like this, okay? The most important part is that the weight of the body is really in this back part. So you're kind of pulling away from the chair. And you should really feel a long lengthening through the back of the legs there. And you can play with this. Flex the right knee and notice the way the stretch changes. And then flex the other knee and notice how that changes it. We always tend to have one dominant leg, one leg that's stronger, and so one that's also more tender. Just walk it out a little bit and play with it. Listen to your own body. And then gazing up at the chair, we're going to go ahead and walk the hands back in. Slowly walking up to the chair, taking a deep breath, finding your center. Let's take that stance wide, okay? Toes are facing forward. We have a wide stance. And we're just gonna flex one knee and let that leg, both feet firmly placed on the ground. You'll notice a lengthening on the inside of the leg. So I'll do it without my chair so you can see, okay? So there's this thing happening here where I flex over and you should feel it on the inside of the leg. And then come up to center. You can use the chair to help support you. And then come up to center. And if you're just doing this, that's absolutely perfect. It could just be a very small sway from side to side. Okay? Lengthening and strengthening. And then come back up to center, scissor those feet in. And we'll come back around and sit in our chair in order to do our lunge on the chair today. So coming around to the chair, we will sit very slowly, reaching the sits bones for the chair as we come down in the most elegant of fashions into our chair. Okay, and then we've done quite a bit warming up in our legs today, so we don't need to do too many windshield wipers, but I always like to give the body a warning of which direction I'm going next. So just do a couple of windshield wipers here with your knees, and then when you get ready, drop that right knee down towards the earth. And reaching the knee for the earth, using the chair as support here. Allow that limit to extend itself only to where you feel comfortable. And you can add another layer here by inhaling the right arm up. My right leg is stretching towards the back, so my right arm is up. And feel free to reach that arm away from the leg, noticing the difference in the posture. Inhaling up towards the ceiling. One more long inhale and exhale here. And then as you drop the arm, I'm going to try something new. So just take it with ease. You're still here. I want you to just take the back of your palm and slide it on to the outside of that thigh. And notice the difference in the lengthening that happens here. We're not doing a full twist with the body. We're just reaching towards the outside of the knee. That's all. There's a very small cross happening in the oblique. And then release that hand, release the knee, and shake out anything that needs shook. Did you feel the difference in that when we reach up and then we reach over? Did you feel it in the back there? Okay, good. All right, so let's go to the other side here. We're just gonna go ahead and Swivel, get the body really nice and warmed up here so it knows what's about to happen. And then whenever you're ready, swivel into your lunge. Okay. You can start by just reaching that knee towards the earth. Really letting the gravity pull that knee down away from the hip so that it's lengthening out of the socket. And then as you rest into that limit, let the leg extend itself without pushing, without forcing. Just notice how with each exhale, it tends to release. And then you can add another layer here by inhaling the arm up and exhaling it over and away. This is probably my favorite lengthening through the side body exercise. Oh, this feels so good. And then whenever you're ready, come down with that hand and reach it across the knee. Taking nice long breaths here. And then releasing the hand first. Inhale and bring that knee back to center here. Running the legs out and coming back to the center. All right. We'll continue working on all of this. I know I'd like to do this hip flexor. I think that someone's mentioned that this is a little bit difficult for them. And what I want to stress in this is that it's okay if you cross the knees like this, okay? You don't have to cross it at the ankle. The only indication that I would say, please don't do this, is if you have sciatica inflammation currently, okay? So if you have a sciatica that's currently inflamed, you're just going to work like this with the knee, doing a little bit of butterfly here, okay? And you can play with it however feels good. It's a little hard to get the leg up there, huh? Can you cross it at the knee? Pete, is that hard too? Okay, that's all right. It's okay. Don't worry. Okay, so we'll just do a kind of quick little lengthening here. What I want you to imagine is that you have a swaddle board to your back and you're just folding the spine over that leg 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 inch. Notice my goal is not to do this. That's not what we're doing. I'm creating just a little inclination towards my knee. That's all I'm doing. Very small, but very big results because it takes and it lengthens this whole buttock region, the IT band, the sciatica, the hip flexor, all of that runs down into the knee. So just take a second to breathe here. Long necks. And then come back up to center and uncross the leg there. You can walk it out if you need to. And then we're going to go to the other side. So again, if you're here, that's okay. You can still open it a little bit and work with it. Cross it if you can do it at the ankle. If not, at the calf or at the knee, wherever you're at. And then let's just give it a little movement here. No pressure. You're just allowing it to move. Very nice. And then when you're ready, Lifting up tall, straight backs, tall sternums. You've got that swaddle board and you're just going to fold the body over just a little. You should feel that in the hip, in the lumbar. It shouldn't hurt. If it's hurting, you may be going too far beyond your limit, so just bring it back up a little. Take a nice big breath here. And then come back up to center. And uncross those legs. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we are going to do some hands, and then at which point I will ask you to, unmute yourself if there's something else that you would like me to integrate into today's practice. But let's just start by sitting up tall, and you can sit however feels comfortable for you. If you like a wider stance, or if your legs are nice and closed. And at this point, just close your eyes as you create this friction, this energy in the palms. Just take that attention with the eyes closed and really feel that heat that you're generating in the palms, and notice the way you're sitting up nice and tall and your lower belly is squeezing back towards the spine. Shoulders are low. Hands are getting nice and warm now. And at the point where you think you just can't do it anymore because the burn is growing, go ahead and take those palms, place them over the eyes, and then let the eyes roll upward in the sockets. As if you wanted to look into the brain. And then bringing the hands down into prayer, slowly clasping those fingers and exhaling, reaching the hands away from you. Be sure that your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Really drop those shoulders down onto the spine as you reach the hands away from you. And then drop the hands. I'm going to do the same thing behind us now. So I'll show you here. You don't necessarily have to be off to the side of your chair, but clasping the hands, we're just going to reach those palms towards the earth, opening up the chest. Notice that my head is not back like this. My head is right on top of the spine. My abs are lower. The core is very active. As I let each inhale be an expansion in that chest cavity, an opening of the heart region. And let that exhale release it all. Shake the hands out. Okay. What would you like to do next? Do you want to do eyes? Do you want to do some lateral reachings? Yes, lateral. Okay. Lateral, let's do that. Okay. So again, I would encourage you to test this out in your own body. For me, it's incredibly uncomfortable to sit like this, but it also obligates me to use my core to sit up tight, okay? When I do the lateral stretches with a wide stance, I'm actually working the hip as well. So it depends on what you want to work in this. If you want to work the hip and that oblique and hip region, then widen the stance. If you want to work on that core strength, close the stance and consider even grabbing a sweater in between the legs, because when you grab a sweater, you are obliged to sit up straight, or if you have a block or something like that, a pillow, okay? So sitting up nice and tall. I'll grab my pillow today too. But each of you decide which region you want to focus on today, if it's the core or the hips, okay? So sitting kind of on the edge of the chair, grabbing that pillow in your knees, obliging yourself to really sit up straight and activate that core. Let's reach across the body. So we're trying to reach all the way across. And sweep it around like you're serving someone. Following the hand with the gaze as you drop it down. Reaching across the body here. And swiveling it around. Always following it with the gaze. Let it become something of a dance. Reaching across. Moving at your own speed. Reaching across. Bringing it around. One more time, and then we'll change the direction of the reach. Reaching down, let it go to the side all the way up. And then reaching down, let it reach up and across. And reaching down. And you can use the chair here to help you. You can support the body using the chair. And then let's take it up and across. And over and down. And up and across. And over and down. Up and across. And over and down. Last one. And before we let go of our pillow or change, let's go ahead and let the hands alternating which arm is on top, kind of try to smack your back. Not hard, but just a little bit. Let the arms kind of fly and the hands reach towards those shoulders. And then bring it so that it slows down. And right arm over left. Let's fold the arms at the elbows and come into Garuda Mudra, eagle pose. Still sitting up nice and tall. Uh-oh, we lost somebody. Oh, Jim. And then play with this. Feel free to play with this a little bit, where maybe you squeeze those elbows down. Maybe you raise them up just a little bit and just notice the difference in sensations in the shoulder. And Pam, be especially careful with your shoulder here. It's a nice way to release tension, but you don't want to overdo it. And then dropping the hands out. Just give yourself a nice hug. Let that torso swivel just a little bit. Oh, yeah. That feels good. Are your legs getting tired yet? Let's go ahead and give ourselves a few pats on the back again. We're going to do just a few in order to slow it down and bring our other arm on top. In my case, it's the left arm. And here we go, crossing left over right now and reaching for the palms. You can squeeze, try this so that you kind of play with it. Again, you can notice all the different sensations that arise from just these very minimal movements that we create in the posture. And lower those elbows. Come into a nice hug, reaching those palms for the shoulder blades, and just give yourself a nice little hug. All right, drop those arms down and shake it out. Let's remove our pillow now. And let's do a little bit of shaking with those legs, because if you had that pillow in your legs for that last 4 minutes, your inner thighs should be on fire. Mine are on fire. So, all right, very nice. Let's, in fact, since we just did some strengthening, let's do some lengthening there. So go ahead and open that stance, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands so that you're kind of pulling your knees back away from that, and just let your weight go onto those knees. So using your hands, push the weight of your body like as if you're kind of balancing on those knees. You should really feel it open up that inner thigh there. So almost as if you were leaning forward. You are leaning forward here. And it's not important if you want to arch the back or keep it straight. That's not too important with this one. But notice the differences if you put more weight on one knee than the other. And then let that shoulder come forward. Ooh, that feels good. So you're pushing the knees away from you, but you're dropping the shoulder into the center. And then come back up and drop the other shoulder into the center. Oh, it's like a twisting of the spine. And one more time on each side. Just let that shoulder come down there. Very good. All right, come back to center, roll those shoulders, run those legs in. All right, I have no idea what time it is, so I'm gonna check. Oh goodness. See, this is what happens when I get into more of a flow. I'm kind of like a racehorse, I just keep going. So let's go ahead and turn our attention back towards our inner landscape now and really feel the way that today's practice is taking place on a cellular level. Noticing the small shifts and changes. Taking our attention. Let's start at the crown of the head today rather than the toes and work our way down. Everywhere your attention touches, simply lets loose. The hair follicles, the small muscles in the face, every tiny nerve ending in the ear and the neck and the throat and the jaw. Let your attention grace the shoulders, the arms, elbows, forearms, and hands as you simply drift deeper into a profound sense of awareness, of knowing, of noticing. And let your attention be somewhat of a kiss of gratitude for all of the vital organs that keep you healthy, as it weaves its way in between the ribs and the side body, and in between all of the hips, all of the tendons that hold us together. Traveling and journeying through the thigh, and in between all of the different articulations of the knee, the ligaments, feel that attention as if it were warm honey dripping down the body, and as it drips, you feel a pleasant sense of heaviness and wholeness. And let any of the existing tension, the lingering tension, just drip right out through the base of the feet. And let it exit. Just simply rest there, placing your attention in that place where the air begins and the body ends, and noticing your own expansion, your own limitlessness. As you bring that same equanimity and attention to this moment that is now, I'd like to just express my gratitude to all of you for showing up each Monday, for practicing together in this beautiful community, for supporting me, my practice, the organization, and your other community members. May these practices carry you through your day, your week, and your life. Sat Nam. Namaste. Let's see if we can get everyone unmuted here. How's everyone feeling?